But what made me think about that is Clownfish put out a video a day ago that apparently something regarding Google dropping Pride Month from the calendar. Now, I don't know if that means that the actual Google Calendar is dropping Pride Month as like a, marked holiday and people on Blue Sky are losing their shit or what? But yeah, I want to see this. It's Clownfish. I love Clownfish. They put out some great news stories. We haven't watched them in a while, so I want to see it. Whoop. It would help if I popped it up on screen. There we go. Let's check it. Thank you, Briar. Thank you for the follow.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Blue Sky turning on Google. Man, this is
I'm gonna block Neon.
Year.
Geeky's
2025. Cuter. Everything changed so quickly.
It did.
It happened almost overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Google, which...
Wow. They dropped Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, and more. Wow. So they're removing all cultural and historical events. Oh, wow. Yeah, no kidding, Atanashi. It's kind of like they're a business and they don't give a shit. They only care about money. Well, Zep, that's the question. I think what they're doing, what it sounds like what they did. Jack, I vaguely knew about it. Yes, I believe Geeky is an actual ginger with blue eyes. Gray matter. I think. I know she's ginger. I think she's got blue eyes. So yeah, so the Google Calendar is now only basically covering actual public holidays, which would denote, I'm guessing, which would denotate maybe business closures. That's my guess. Let's see.
Which was one of the quote-unquote wokest
and centrist, thank you for the
follow.
Out
there all of a sudden dropping a lot of their DEI stuff, and we had the CEO attending Trump's inauguration.
I bet it is.
And we have them actually labeling the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America on Google Maps. And now the cardinal sin, Google has revised its official calendar, which a lot of people use, and they took off Black History Month. They took off Pride Month. They took off Holocaust Remembrance Day. They took a whole bunch of stuff off of the calendar because their explanation is
it's yeah, I like my opinion on the whole Gulf of America thing. Like, did Google actually change it in Google Maps from Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America? Did they actually change that? They did. Hang on. I must see this. Hang on. Give me a second. Hang on. Okay. Kinda. They kinda did. Okay? Because it still shows Gulf of Mexico, and in parentheses it says Gulf of America. So they kinda did it. Okay? They did it to, it's still classified, it's still Gulf of Mexico, but then they parenthesesed it. Oh, really? So because the server, I'm hitting a Canadian server, it's showing that. Oh. Well. That's stupid. Phew. That's just stupid. I mean, yeah, well, but that's probably how they're justifying it, is because Mexico is part of North America. That's how they're justifying is calling it the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico.
There are way too many damn
Aren't they?
holidays.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to keep track of it all.
They're
It's too hard to
fighting
keep
for
track
whatever
of it,
makes
and
them more
everybody's got
money.
their own special day. So they're going back to basics to, recognize federal holidays and, religious holidays like Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. And Blue Sky is having a major meltdown over it. They're like, oh my God, Google have become Nazis.
I mean, they're not eliminating the holidays. They're just not recognizing it on their calendar.
Right. I mean, that's how it's kind of always been. I mean, if it's something that it's not super important to the super majority of people, a lot of times it does not make the calendar.
Right. Like I know, like it's not marked on the calendar. Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day. They're not usually marked on calendars.
No.
Oh, Groundhog Day isn't even on calendars half the time.
Yeah. Right. So.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Google have an option where in the calendar you can sort of choose to select if you want only the national holidays, and then there's also a selection where you can choose to have it populate with, cultural events or, other, non-public holidays? Is that not an option in Google Calendars? That there's like multiple types of events that they can populate in the calendar, but you have to select being able to choose those. I thought that was a thing. Granted, I don't use the Google Calendar all that much, so I'm not sure, but I always thought that was kind of a thing. You could choose if you want to have only the public holidays, if you want to have local holidays, if you can have, social holidays, etc., etc. Was that not always a thing, or am I thinking wrong? I don't remember.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, and we're going to go look at the meltdowns. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Check out clownfishminus.com. We got lots of merch out there. Help support the reef.
Catherine, your birthday is on Valentine's Day? Okay, that's either wonderful or, oh, fuck you, that's screwed, because you've got your birthday and the holiday on the same day.
Join the Plus Club, and thank you so much for the support. So, yeah, this is coming from
dies.
CNET. A lot of people surprised, caught off guard by this because, Google has been getting woker and woker as the years went on, and now they're just dropping it all. So I am.
They're not just
very
dropping
much
it;
looking
they're
forward
booting
to the
it.
day where they hopefully decide that boosting Reddit over pretty much everything else is not in their best interest.
No, I know, right?
Google is not simply dropping DEI; they are drop kicking it. Let's not forget all of those people that walked out to, I think it was they walked out to either to protest. I forget if it was something pride related or if it was something having to do with the Middle East thing. One of the two. The Google employees that walked out, that went out to go protest, their ass got fired. They fired their ass. So yeah, Google is dropped. Yeah, it was like the Israel and Gaza, the whole thing in Gaza. But they fired them. So they're drop ticking DEI. They're not just dropping it; they're drop ticking it, which is beautiful.
Yeah, trading your AI with Reddit, probably not the smartest thing.
No, you
and
picked
Zeb,
the
as far as like the whole Holocaust
to train
thing,
your AI from.
I'm thinking
anyway,
they're just it's getting
Google
lumped in with
calendar
all
drops
of
Black
the
History Month,
non-public
Holocaust Remembrance
holidays.
Day.
It's
More,
just
the
a
company
big
says
old
that as
lump
of
in.
2024, it's going to begin listing only, or it began listing only public holidays and national observances, not cultural and historical events.
So they did it before Trump
But nobody
took office.
noticed.
Right, but now they notice, and now they're horrible.
Now
Eh,
you know why they noticed? Because the CEO went to Trump's inauguration. So they
Yeah,
started digging
probably.
into it. Said facing another backlash,
that
this
would
put
do
the
it.
company on blast. Google says that the removal of cultural holidays and events such as Black History Month from its calendar app is a scaling issue and not ideological.
Yeah.
Although some users on social media began noticing and posting about the changes
Eh,
online recently, at the same time as the company was criticized for changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America in Google Maps, Google says the calendar changes happened in mid 2024 and users can add their own
Well,
observances.
that's what I was gonna say. You probably are
That's what
able.
I thought. That's what I thought. That they could add, they could select if they wanted to do non-public holidays to be added onto their calendar. If that's what this is referencing, I thought you always could do that.
And users can add their own
Well,
observances.
that's what I was gonna say. You probably are able to put your own things that matter to you in it. Like these are the ones that are the basic ones. If you want to add other ones, you can. And that's what I was going to ask. And then that answers the question. So they're not eliminating anything. They're not deleting anything. It's still there. It's just leaving up to the user to personalize it.
Yeah.
Whoopie ding dong.
So here are some of the things that they dropped. They said they're only
And I actually do think Seth, I think scaling issue is somewhat legitimate. Look at how many fucking month holidays. Okay? In this little example alone, 1, 2, 3 months have a cultural holiday throughout the entire month. 4 if you include the Black History Month. Okay, Falcon, I'll see you on Valentine's Day. There's at least 4 months out of the year that are like quote unquote set aside. But it's not just a day zap. It's this, you have the Holocaust Remembrance Day, and then you have 3 different months up there. Think about, as far as scaling, if they put in all of these cultural holidays and social holidays into the calendar, and yes, more will be getting added, like Machina said, the calendar is going to be filled the fuck up with all these bullshit social holidays that range from a day to a month. And there's only so much space in those little squares on your calendar. Yeah, it absolutely is scaling. Because pretty soon there's not going to be any room to see anything in each day because of all these fucking holidays. To say nothing of any appointments that you put in. No, it's not that they can't Zeb, it's not that they can't keep up with it. That's not the issue. It's not that they're saying they can't keep up with it. I'm talking about visually speaking. They're gonna, visually on the calendar, it's gonna be filled up with holidays. Like when you just look at a calendar, it will be filled with holidays. In addition to any like appointments that you manually make and put into the calendar. That because now they're actually starting to say, because now they actually want to make money again. That's why it's an issue now. Is they've realized that bending the knee to all of this stuff is grooming the pocketbook. And so now they realize, oh, we need to make money now. That's why it's become relevant. That's why it's become an issue now. And we're going to be seeing with more businesses too. All of these businesses that basically did what amounts to catering to all of these special interest groups for Pride Month, Hispanic Heritage, Women's History Month, Black History Month, insert whatever holiday here, is not making the money and is actually causing them to lose money. And so now they're going, okay, we want to actually make money again, and this is how we make money.
Including public holidays, national observances, not including cultural and historical events such as Holocaust Remembrance Day, Pride Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, and Women's History Month.
Just add it to your calendar.
If it's that important to you. But that's the thing. what this was always about was about the few pushing their will on the many, right? And no matter how niche your particular holiday or month or whatever it was, you wanted that recognition. You wanted it on a national calendar. You wanted the president to say something on social media about it, right? To the point of where they had like, what was it, Trans Visibility Day on the same day as Easter.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, that whole thing was just like, okay, this is, you know what I'm saying? You want to celebrate that? You can celebrate that. But
the thing is, if you buy calendars in the store, a lot of those things aren't on those calendars either.
Because they're Nazi calendars.
This is true.
All the calendars are Nazi calendars.
All the calendars are Nazi calendars.
Yes, because don't you know, guys, by them doing that, it's because they're Nazis. I wish I was kidding.
Well, we're getting to blue sky because that's what they're literally saying. I am not even kidding.
Well, again, Zeb, it's no one's saying it's niche population for these things. What we're saying, Tiki just made an excellent point here. If you buy printed calendars in the store, you're not going to see all of these celebratory days, weeks, or months in the calendar. And no one's complaining about that. They're complaining about Google. Wait, they said niche? Hang on. Where did they say
because don't you know, guys, by that store.
You know what I'm saying? You want to sell.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, that whole thing was just like, okay, this is, you know what I'm saying? You want to celebrate that? You can celebrate that. But
the thing is, if you buy calendars in the store, a lot of those things are.
Okay. Zeb, were you talking about when he called like the, how do you label it? Like the trans awareness day being on Easter, when he called that niche? I could be wrong. I don't think he was blanket statementing every single like celebratory day as niche. I think he was saying that in reference to like the trans visibility day that was set up to occur on Easter. I know that. I understand that's how he came across. I suspect he wasn't blanket statementing all of it. There are a lot, like at this point, here's the thing to remember about these varied holidays. A lot of them have become niche. There are many that are not. Pride, again, as like a day or a weekend, is not niche. Black History, again, as a day or a weekend, is not niche. Cinco de Mayo, they're not Cinco de Mayo, Hispanic Heritage, again, should be a day, not a week. These are not like niche in America, but a lot have been established throughout the last umpteen years. So a lot of them could be categorized as niche. The Holocaust, the one about the Holocaust, I don't consider niche. And I'm reasonably sure that Neon doesn't consider the Holocaust one niche. It's because when did the one about the when did the Holocaust one? Because that's been around for the one about the Holocaust has been around for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. That one's been around for quite a few years. Like, was it like what 20 years or more? I think that particular one's been around. So it's like there are many that have been around for decades. 1 to 2 decades at minimum. And again, those are not viewed upon as niche. But there are a lot of quote-unquote holidays have suddenly started appearing within probably the last 5-6 years. And that's what he's referencing. Neon is referencing a lot of these, a lot of these quote-unquote holidays that have just suddenly been appearing because of activism. And it is primarily, a lot of it is primarily like in the LGBT. Some of it is, well, that's fine. The new one, all the new ones that I've heard that have been cropping up recently have kind of been stemming from LGBT. And again, I'm guessing there's a lot of people in the LGBT community that don't love them. Well, no, say the one that Nia just talked about was like Trans Visibility Day that they threw in on Easter. I just had one on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. Fuck! I hate when that happens. It'll probably come to me as we keep watching. I'll keep watching. It might come to me while I'm still watching.
Aren't on those calendars either.
Because they're Nazi calendars.
All the calendars are Nazi calendars.
All the calendars are Nazi calendars.
Yes, because don't you know, guys, by them doing that, it's because they're Nazis. I wish I was kidding.
Well, we're getting to blue
They're
sky,
being
'cause that's what
facetious
they're
about the
literally
Nazi
saying. I'm
calendar
not
thing,
even
Chad.
kidding. They said, yeah, they basically scaled it back because it wasn't sustainable. And the spokesperson said, for over a decade, we worked with timeanddate.com to show public holidays and national observances in Google Calendar. Representative said some years ago, the calendar team started some years ago, the calendar team started manually adding a broader set of cultural moments
2005.
in a wide
Okay,
number
20
of
years ago. That
countries
sounds about
around
right.
the
I
world.
think that's because there's different days Google will change their logo to try to incorporate certain days. I think it was like a gimmick, and then it became an expectation that you have to recognize everything, ever.
We got feedback
That sounds about right.
Some other events.
What Geeky just said sounds about right. That when Google would change their logo to, emphasize days, like special days, a variety of holidays or considered special days, and then and the public started having an expectation that it should happen, and if it didn't happen, they would get their panties in a bunch and saying, why aren't you doing it for this day? What do you have against this day? And it's like, it's fucking Google. They're trying to do something fun and creative for a day, and if they happen to not get one, it doesn't mean that they think your favorite holiday is shit. And I think Geeky is kind of on the mark with this one, that they were doing something fun for their customers, and it morphed into this ungodly expectation of some sort.
And countries were missing, and maintaining hundreds of moments manually and consistently globally wasn't scalable or sustainable. So mid 2024, we returned to showing only public holidays and national observances from dateandtime.com globally, while allowing users to manually add other important moments. The company also pointed to other ways it's promoting Black History Month and the Lunar New Year. They said that Time and Date's website includes customized calendars that can include holidays only, holidays and observances, and other options. So yeah, it's not going away. It's just that the default is these are the most recognized events, holidays.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's selectable. The default is it will show observable national holidays, basically, colloquially, statutory holidays. And then you will have the option to add in the non-statutory holidays if you wish. I always thought that was the thing, and that's what's happening now. So people are pissed off that it's not the default, is what it's starting to sound like. The fact that every single fucking social holiday by default is not on the calendar is pissing people off.
Whatever. But they also had to get in there. They scale back their diversity hiring.
Well, that has nothing to do with this.
Well, that's the implication is.
But it's not. They're not related. Basically, it is impossible for us for every nuanced event and holiday quote or Remembrance Day to be on every calendar ever. It's just not feasible.
It's not feasible, but it is expected. It doesn't matter. A lot of these people expect every.
Well, yeah, exactly. And Zeb, that is not Google's fault. That's it. This is just like when we were watching Casuals, where they're talking about the different news stories, where they're coming from different, the leanings and how it's all fucked. Exactly. You get journalism is now all about sensationalism, and this sells clicks to their website. If they say Google removes Pride Month and the start of Black History Month, if these journalists pretend like Google's actually eliminating them entirely from their calendars instead of making them optional and not on by default, it gets more clicks and more engagement. So that's the key. That's the thing to remember here. This is selective. Yeah, it's outrage causes clicks, and it is selective facts. Yeah, and Zed, that's why I don't use social media. Because social media is even more sensationalism taken to the nth degree. And this is basically doing what journalists always do, twisting the facts into a Peruvian knot to elicit the outrage they want so they can get clicks on their article.
Little freaking thing to be on the calendar for validation, and if you don't do it, you're a damn Nazi.
Yeah, literally, that's what I said.
So here we go. These
Leo
are some of the
technically
reactions
last
from
year
Blue
was
Sky.
only 2
We got
months ago.
Casey here, who says Google removing Black History Month from their calendars while we're in the midst of Black History Month is vile behavior. No, actually, they removed it last year.
Says the white woman.
They also removed Pride Month.
Yeah.
How very dare they? Let's see what some of the comments. Soon, Google Maps won't show the addresses of blacks.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Did this dumb motherfucker really just make this completely brain-dead fucking leap? See, and again, this is Blue Sky. They are doing the Mary Lou Retton of mental gymnastics just so they can try and say Google is being racist. This Sid, I don't fucking know. I do not fucking know. That honestly, with the social media, you don't know. And then look at the comment to it. This person says sooner Google Maps, and of course, great articulation there. Grammar much? Sooner Google Maps won't show the address of blacks. And then the person right underneath says Clegg. Like, what the both of them are just fucked in the head. You think this person's a troll? Maybe? It's entirely possible. I mean, let's face it, probably about 75 to 80% of what you see on any social media is trolling anyway. That's actually probably very likely. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? Remember, Google is not the only search engine I've objected to Google forever. I still use Yahoo, now looking for my best map alternative. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wait, what?
Soon Google Maps won't show the addresses.
Yeah, they are, Zeb.
Remember, Google is not the only search engine. I still use Yahoo, which is just Bing. What are some good alternatives to Google?
Oh my God.
Wait, so this guy who just said that they're going to show that. I don't know. This Mr. Blue Dot in a red state said sooner is the same one that says soon Google Maps won't show the address of blacks. It's still Black History Month. It's still Gulf of Mexico and still Pride Month in June. And I removed Google. Good luck, dude. Fuck off, Google. I went to DuckDuckGo. Motherfucker, DuckDuckGo scrapes your data far worse than fucking Google does. This comment is fucking brain dead. DuckDuckGo, from what I hear, is far worse than Google for data scraping. Like, way worse.
It's still Black History Month. It's still the Gulf of Mexico. It's still Pride
Yes,
Month in
Chad
June.
said,
They can
bring back
fuck
ass
off.
They never said
cheeks.
it wasn't. They just said they aren't putting them on their calendar, but you can edit yours to show those things.
Right. I removed Google. Fuck Google. I went to DuckDuckGo. I can't.
I know. And they didn't care when Google was destroying websites.
Yeah, they didn't care about any of that. As long
Yeah.
as Google was on their side, they were cool with whatever bullshit Google did. In fact, they loved it
No,
when Google
J10, I will call out
was
the runs.
silencing
It's
and
fun.
dampening certain voices that they did not agree with. Now all of a sudden, so it went from that to Google are a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah, here we go. It's the oligarchs. So I mean,
Machinist, no, I don't believe Google bought up Yahoo. I believe Yahoo is owned by, I want to say Yahoo is owned by Time Warner. I think. I cannot remember exactly, but I thought Yahoo was owned by Time Warner.
The
this is always
oligarchs.
funny to me. It's always funny to me they keep going about this. Because
But
people
most
that they were
engines
voting
do,
for
Durhan.
were all
Most search
using the
engines
rich
do.
and rich themselves anyway. So it was
AT&T.
the same
Okay,
thing,
thank you,
but it was
Homer.
okay when their flavor of rich was in charge.
Google's making Bing great again. God, this is never Google it. DuckDuckGo it. Oh my God, they're all going to DuckDuckGo because of this. I removed Google search engine off my phone. F that. F Google and the whore it rode in on.
And again, these brain trusts.
By the way, all these people saying fuck Google, fuck Google, fuck Google. Yeah, they'll be back on Google in a couple days if they're actually being serious. Every single one of these people that is saying fuck Google, in at least a week, they'll be back searching on Google again. Karen fucking team. Well, here's the thing. It's they're not talking about the browser, Dragon. They're not talking about the Google Chrome browser. They're talking about the Google search engine. That's what this is in reference to. Not the browser, but the search engine. And they're saying, Google. Granted, the calendar in and of itself is a Google app. It is a Google app on it. But they're talking about I'm going to DuckDuckGo. The fucking browser has nothing to do. These people are not using their brains. Flat the fuck out. They're not using their brains on this one. Shocking. I know. I realize this may shock and amaze you. The Google Calendar is a Google app, part of their Office suite. It is not the browser. It's kind of sort of built into the browser, but you can use the Google browser and not use the Google Calendar. But for some reason, they think by not using the Google browser, because of what they did with their calendar, they're going to hurt Google in some way. And they're not. These handful of people that are saying, fuck this, I'm going to DuckDuckGo, Google doesn't even know they exist. Okay? And of course, now the question is, what device are these people posting to this problem? Garrett fucking T, it's a mobile. They're not doing it from the computer. What mobile device are they using this from? How many of them are using an Android phone to post this on Blue Sky? Who makes Android? And how many of them are saying this, and as soon as they're done saying it, they're searching something on the Google browser? This is all just this is all a bunch of, again, the white savior. I am so righteous. I'm going to act offended online. None of them will back it up. It's honestly just it's watching it's like watching a bunch of dumb circus animals, doing tricks for a trigger expression or a trigger phrase. That's what this is. That's why I watch it. That's why I watch this, because these are basically not to insult the SEALs, But these are basically a bunch of dumb clapping seals. And it's just so funny. It's just amusing watching them because it's so they are literally trained like circus seals. It's so easy to figure out what their trigger phrase is to make them start reeing like this and acting like a fool. And that's what they're doing. It was so easy to trigger them.
Idiots could add it to their calendar if they want it. It was just they scaled it back so that it was too much to maintain, and you could add whatever you'd like though. No one took it away from them. It didn't get canceled.
Trump is not okay, says that they're afraid of dictator Trump. If companies don't appease him, he goes out of his way to hurt them and is not afraid to use the U.S. government to do so. Afraid, Google CEO showed up to his inauguration, praised him, and donated to the inauguration. They love him. I bet they're all posting from their iPhones too, or their Android phones.
I bet they are.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
He showed up too.
Yes, your Android phones, which have Google built in,
which is built on Google.
They're not very smart.
I've had 3 moods in one day. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? And fuck this. Well, welcome to the last, several years for most people.
No shit.
Yeah, right. Google's using
Dragon. I use iPhone because I use VTube Studio. And VTube Studio just runs a hell of a lot better on iPhone than it does on Android or like a web camera. So I, alas, am locked into the iPhone because VTube Studio just with the IR kit just works, or the AR kit works a hell of a lot better on the iPhone than it's Android.
Used in public schools, Gmail, Google Workspace, virtual classroom, etc. How can they continue to expect taxpayer-funded public schools to purchase their ed tech tools with this cancellation of vibrant culture? Well, you're not going to have to worry.
Wait. Let me read that. I was reading you guys. Google is using public schools, Gmail, Google Workspace, virtual classroom. How can they continue to expect taxpayer-funded public schools to purchase their ed tech tools with this cancellation of vibrant cultures? Laura? Sweetheart? I can explain this very easily to you. Neither Google, nor the education, nor the schools give a fuck about this. They don't fucking care. The schools are just trying to keep the kid. The schools are more concerned about the kids reading at an age-appropriate level and not killing themselves or bullying one another to death. Making non-public holidays a selectable feature does not even make the fucking list when it comes to the schools. So they can expect to continue to have taxpayer-funded public school systems purchase their tech because the tech works well for them and they don't fucking care. Schools are not going to be schools are not active, Well, yes, there are some teachers that like to pull some activism bullshit. Yeah, the state decides what the schools are going to use in public schools. Exactly, yeah. The schools themselves don't, they're basically told by the state, by the Board of Education, this is what you will be using to teach your students. This is the technology that you will be using. So you don't have a choice in the matter. Microsoft tried to actually make a push. Microsoft actually tried to do an educational version of their Windows 11 system. They tried to make a Chromebook killer. They did the Microsoft Surface Go Education Edition, which was literally a Microsoft version of Chromebook. It came with extremely limited preloaded stuff, primarily online only, such as the Edge browser, Office Online, things like that. You could not download programs onto it. It had very finite amount of RAM and hard drive space. It was supposed to be a Chromebook killer. Guess how many of them are actually in schools versus Chromebooks? I'll give you a hint. It's still the Chromebook is king.
About that for much longer, are you, Laura? Because as I understand it, they're going to cut back on that too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, you were fine with it. when it was promoting what you wanted it to promote, and you're
Oh,
telling
sure.
everybody else they're bigots.
Yeah, you love censorship. You loved it. You loved the bigots being put in their places. Now that you realize Google is not on your side.
Sphinx
Now,
never, because that's how you keep people down.
They're the bigots this time.
yeah, Google are the
Sphinx, even the experts don't know what the fuck is in half these tax laws. Okay, the taxes are deliberately complicated just to try and fuck people over. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not getting any further than that because that is a week-long discussion.
See, this is the thing. They always turn on these companies. Why do I think that these companies are very quickly getting rid of DEI and wokeness? Because the audience that you courted, they'll eat you as soon as you do one thing they don't like.
I think that they've learned.
Sorry, Neon and Geek, I'm pausing you a lot. It's not only that they'll eat you, although, chat, how often have I said that they are a beast that cannot be, that the DEI, woke, whatever you want to call it, is a beast that cannot be fed, and that they will eat one another at the drop of a pin. How often have I fucking said that? And yes, they are finally realizing it. And it's not only that they will eat one another with zero provocation, they're not paying customers. Okay? The people that bitch and rave about people like, companies like Google that do this, they're not spending money on the products anyway. Or they're spending on the money on the products regardless. Google does not fucking care. It does not fucking care. Google is one of the first companies smartening up to go, you know what? All these people that we've been catering, that have been bitching and moaning, and we've been trying to acquiesce to, they're not actually spending money on us. So why the fuck are we catering to them? Why are we bending the knee to them if they're not actually spending money on us? Whereas our actual paying customers fucking hate us because we've bent the knee. Google finally realized, hey, we are in this business to make money. Let's actually try making some fucking money. And the reading masses don't like that their bluff just got called. Because that's what this is. They bluffed, Google called it, and they're not happy.
That these people aren't that many. I think these companies, the reason they're going back on it, if they really thought they were going to lose money, they wouldn't. They realized that.
Well, I don't think I said minority or majority, Leo. It's just the reading masses.
And it's like a bunch of it's the sincere vocal minority. Most people are rational enough to understand why it happened. Most people are normal and don't give a shit because they understand that if I want to add it, I can. There's a good reason. It has something to do with istophobia. It has everything to do with the fact that it's not maintainable. Because these people are going to scream about everything that isn't included. You didn't include, Hammer Toe Day or something like that.
When the tide changes, and it will, Google and Target will look like fools and have zero credibility with the public.
They have more credibility with the public now than they did 2 years ago.
Right.
They don't care about credibility. That's the funny part. They don't give a fuck about credibility. They care about your money. That's what they care about. They care about your money. And if you're not giving them money already, no, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck what you think. In the meantime, the rest of the people that have not lost their fucking minds are perfectly content spending money on them if they actually give them a product that works.
Right. God, these people really think that
they were, I don't know what's on this one, but they were basically saying, I saw them there. Everybody was a Nazi. They're all Nazis.
Yep. Outspoken says Google Calendar has wiped out Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, Hispanic Heritage, Indigenous People Month from its global default settings.
Yeah, this person even says it right here. They actually just tanked their whole fucking argument. Wiped out Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, Hispanic Heritage, Indigenous People Month from its global default settings. They said the quiet part out loud. They removed it from its global default settings, which means it's still there. Which means if you really want to put any of these holidays into your calendar, you still can. Okay, Zeb, I like my way better right now. Yes, I know the quiet. Well, it kind of sort of works because everybody's acting like it got nuked from the platform entirely. The way these people are talking, it's like all of these holidays got ripped out of the Google Calendar entirely. They don't exist in there anymore. And this person finished it with, from its global default settings. You're not supposed to say that when you're an activist. You're supposed to pretend like Google actually ripped all those holidays out of the calendar and they no longer exist in the calendar in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, they kind of did say the quiet part out loud. Exactly. This person was not supposed to say this so people could keep being mad instead of going, oh wait, they're still actually there. I just have to click a button. Are you, Zeb? Okay, like I'm not on Blue Sky. I'm not going to Blue Sky. I'm not looking on Twitter for this because the whole thing is fucking stupid. But this is people literally needing an excuse to read. This is again, these are people that are perpetually offended and they are looking for literally any excuse to be offended. Even when it's a non-issue, like you said, Atanashi. They take a non-issue and they get offended by it because they have to be offended by something. That is how they justify their existence. If they're not offended by something, they don't think that they matter, which is a psychological disorder. I imagine sometime in the future, we're going to have a new psychological disorder of needing to be perpetually offended by everything. And that you as an individual suffer from this disorder if you don't, if you think that if you are not offended by something, or you are not, championing a cause or something like that, your existence has no meaning. Zeb, if there is, I'm unaware of it. I am like, it's entirely possible there could be that disorder in place on the book somewhere. I am not aware of it. If it is, okay, it is. I don't know about it. Yeah, but that's no, it's I don't know about that, but yeah, this is just being chronically offended. Yeah, that's an exact Atsunashi. They're all on social
The
media.
whole need to be offended by something to justify your existence is an internet age disorder, didn't exist years ago.
No, absolutely correct, Leo. This absolutely is internet based. It's actually I would even dial it. I would even dial it in a bit further and say it's a social media based disorder. Not even so much internet based, social media based.
A growing number of cultural events was not sustainable. Fuck Google every day.
Machine is
Probably still
good.
using it.
Brian Taylor Cohen says Google has just removed Pride Month and Black History Month from the calendar. This comes as they obeyed Trump by changing the Gulf of Mexico's name to the Gulf of America.
I used to actually watch this guy's YouTube channel, Brian Tyler Cohen. I actually did used to watch him on YouTube. I had to stop. He is another one of these that basically he purports himself to be a journalist. He's on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He kind of purports himself to be a journalist. He's about as much of a journalist as most of the people at MSNBC are. I would not be surprised if MSNBC fucking hired him at some point, if they're still around for much longer. He is extremely left-leaning. Loves basically talking when Trump was president the first time, he loved just talking about how horrible he is. But he presents this image like he is he presents an image like he is a journalist, but he is extremely left-leaning in literally everything he put out. I used to watch him, And I was just like, okay, this is too much. I'm fucking done.
Yeah. They obeyed Trump. Oh
and a lot of these people, it's funny to me, they're outraged by Holocaust Remembrance Day, when a lot of these people were mad, saying that Jewish people were horrible when they were being anti-Semitic just like 2 months ago.
Here, this friendly looking chap here, fuck MAGA Nazis, says Google also removed Pride Month, Black History Month, Women's History Month, and Indigenous Peoples Day from the calendars. Fuck the Nazi ass kissers.
Right, because if you're a fascist and a Nazi,
because again, we don't know what this word means. Again, just basically destroying the meaning of words. Again.
you don't do what they want.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it just goes on. And God, I'm even like a third of the way through this.
That's okay. We don't need to see.
These need
You
to
get
talk
the gist, right?
Dragon, these people need to talk to any surviving World War II veterans so they can actually learn who those people were. Now, granted, there's probably not many veterans of World War II that are still alive, unfortunately. But yeah, they basically no, they won't. They won't learn because it doesn't fit with their mental zeitgeist. Do they mean? That actually doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Yeah, I know that it. The problem is this is the word is being greatly abused, and it along with many other words of strength, authority, power, and meaning have lost the meaning because there's just been so extreme overuse.
Google's fixing to suppress LGBT pride. Because
you didn't say QIA.
What
the hell?
Where did the QIA plus people go? Where did they go?
Bigot.
Because, okay, so apparently I don't understand what happened because I don't think this is a Trump thing. I don't think he signed the executive order to get rid of the
TQIA plus.
The QIA plus.
The TQIA plus is actually, they're saying LGBT, but a lot of them are arguing it's LGB and then the TQIA plus, all that was separate.
Well, the next thing you know, there's going to be an executive order to take some of those triangles off the pride flag. And,
what?
They worked really hard to make sure every possible person is shooting.
Triangle?
No, they didn't. They showed no regard for people who have a fear of triangles.
Yeah, right?
I know, right? It's so insensitive. I don't understand how they can even live with themselves.
TT showing just how stupid this all is.
There we go, guys. Blue Sky, big mad about the changes to the Google Calendar that happened last year. It's just nobody paid attention. You cared so damn much.
Is there a triangle on the flag right now?
So
I don't know.
much about all of these people being properly
represented this sideways
on the Google Calendar that you didn't notice until...
Beats, the Q is queer. The Q is for queer. I is for... I forget. Well, okay, basically, it was LGBT. And then they started QIA+, and the Q was for queer. The A was for asexual. The I was for, I might have been intersex. And then the plus was for literally everything else. Yeah, LGBT does cover it. It absolutely does cover it. That's why whenever I refer to it, I always say LGBT. I don't throw all that other bullshit on the end of it. Because yes, LGBT covers it just fine.
Almost a year later.
The kicker is, I would say probably 95% of people screaming didn't even use the Google Calendar to begin with.
No.
They just overheard so-and-so said, and now they're mad about it.
They're mad because Google, the CEO,
they literally spend their whole day online.
That's exactly it.
For something to be outraged over.
God, this is like a quarantine zone. You know what? You guys all stay on Blue Sky.
No, it makes it better for everybody else in the world.
You are correct,
Yeah,
Leo.
that's
Although
fantastic.
it's gone
you
beyond
stay over
that.
there. That's the asylum. The rest of us are gonna keep on keeping on in the real world, where everything is changing very quickly back to how it was 6-8 years ago.
All I did was go to the calendar that everybody else uses or buys at the store.
Yeah, right. Are we gonna wrap it up?
Yes.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Yes. There it is. So, all right. So it was not what was purported to be, which is good. That's why I wanted to see this. That's why I wanted to watch this video, because again, it's not actually what was reported in the news. It was a false flag. And yeah, more proof that people are stupid.